Great.
Here we go.
Come on.
In Florida,
Scripted.
Recording in
you
progress.
See the one that says Kamala ripped over evil eye. There's a Twitter right underneath it, and it's exactly what you're saying. So if you can pull that clip up, he's going to talk about it, or this gentleman is talking about it, but we're going to go into more, and we're talking about that Ron DeSantis business over there in Florida. And I wanted to get a little bit more of your take on that, because how they're trying to put it is it was a positive thing. But we're saying, I don't think so. So from your perspective, where are they getting it wrong? Let's see what he's saying right here.
He says this right here. This is well documented among historians. This is historical fact that slaves did develop skills while they were enslaved, and then used those skills as blacksmiths, as in agriculture, tailoring, in the shipping business, to then use to benefit themselves and their families once they were freed. That's not controversial. And it actually speaks to the resilience and the aptitude of the enslaved African Americans who were at the time able to better themselves and able to improve their situation, despite brutal conditions, horrific and abhorrent conditions. He says this right here. This is well documented among historians.
So, there's a reason why I listen to the other stations, because this is what they are saying. This is what they are selling to, you know, we watch, you know, what we watch, and, you know what I'm saying, we entertain our time with other things. But this is what they're saying on the back end.
Man, an oppressor has to soften his blowback. Whenever you do somebody wrong and you have to explain it, you never just really go out and say what you did. You kind of, well, this is what happened. You're trying to soft shoe it. For all those lives lost, property, mental state, children, food, supplies, minerals, to this day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see how he even says, how can they even let that come out
So
of
to
your mouth?
refute this statement, what would we say? Well, he was wrong on 100% of what he's saying?
So a true, when you look at like wilderness, there's always predators. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that last and don't go extinct are the ones that adapt. Adaptation is a natural thing for survivors. Okay. So because we adapted to your society and learned skills so that we can survive within your system, if we never were enslaved, we never had to adapt to your system. Therefore, these skills wouldn't be necessary. And it's not like we profited off these skills while we were enslaved, because we were doing this so that you can profit off of us.
All those skills are adapted too.
But let's keep it in perspective. You know, the narrative is that black people was doing better before, you know, the 1960s, as far as us owning and doing. We could do what we wanted to do. We had our own businesses. We had our own communities. We had all that type of stuff, right? So,
if that was the case, then why would you burn down Black Wall Street? Why would you have the Tulsa massacre that you had? When black people take your system, adapt better than you, and do it despite all the things that you've done to us, you come in and you tear it down and you make sure that we don't rebuild it again.
Well, this is a good time for them to speak that, because they think there's more than two genders. So this is a good time.
That's a whole nother topic.
Segue? That was a segue.
It's a good time to tell us, because everybody's stupid right now. So maybe it's a good time for them to get that off, because I don't even see how he came that, because history is already recorded about who's taken what, who's learned what from who. That's already been established in their culture, in their history, in their libraries. But so this is something that they're just throwing that out there.
They're throwing it out there, but isn't this tied into this is going to be taught in their schools?
Yeah, that's the narrative now.
So, you know, we definitely have to get in front of this if this is not something that is going to be formidable for our children.
We just talked about this last Wednesday on my podcast, Politicking the Podcast. We go live Wednesdays every night at 7 p.m. And that was the final topic. And one thing I brought up was George Orwell's book, 1985. And then the main character in that book, his job was to rewrite history so that they would take a newspaper article, give it to him, he would alter it, they would basically change that in the database, and then this is how the future will learn that history. And then essentially, this is what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
They're literally rewriting history right in front of our face.
History's only written by the ones who've won. You never hear the other side of the story. It's written by the ones who
That's how Jesus
won.
became white. Yes, I know.
Pause. If you don't know, we have 4 guests in the studio. I have the young homie, 6.
Yeah, young six.
Young 6. And if you don't know, I had posted some stuff on my Instagram a while back because I was really impressed with this brother's music and everything. And he's official. He's official, so he's also in the studio. Let's segue. I didn't do much research, but you guys are more sports guys than me. What's going on with this LeBron James son business? He suffered a cardiac arrest.
Yes.
You know what I think it's from?
Everybody's talking about the COVID shot. And anytime anything happens, especially what was it, DeMar Hamlin with the NFL, that was the first thing that came up. When you seen a lot of the old black athletes pass from COVID, that was brought up with the COVID shot.
Okay, so wait a minute. Conspiracy theories.
Hold on.
I don't think it's a conspiracy.
So we got 3 conspiracy theorists
Type
in the
in
building.
athletes dying under the age of 21 in Europe and America.
And
This guy-
and they weren't shot, right?
Yeah.
They weren't shot.
No,
drive-by shooting.
No shot.
Okay.
They got vaccinated.
I'm saying.
They got vaccinated.
So yeah,
18.
cardiac arrest. What I learned on the way into the studio was cardiac arrest and heart attacks is 2 different things.
Yes.
Cardiac arrest is when your heart totally gives out, no blood. Heart attack is when a valve gives out. Now they said that having a cardiac arrest, 10% you got chances of living. Not trying to put it out there, but do we have any more? Do you know any more about this? Was he playing basketball?
So
Yeah, he was on court.
He was
Practice.
at USC practice, and he fell out. This was yesterday. He was in ICU, so he came out of ICU this morning, and that's when the information was released.
How do
He's
you
young. He's
18.
He should be able to survive that.
He's endured more practices than that. This is his first college level, but that doesn't change anything.
This is a
Played
new
basketball
world. This
his
is a
whole
new
life.
world. There's too many people dying at an early age there's just too many diseases now. Every 10 years there's a new disease or a new shot or something new for us to deal with. I think all of that is a part of programming. It puts fear, it sells products, it pushes chemicals, medication, it pushes a whole number of things.
All right, so we are safe to say this is not no blood sacrifice. Because somebody said that earlier. Oh, this is one of those things where you got to give up somebody to keep what you got.
Well,
it's just a distraction to keep us from paying attention.
He
to
does wear a
politics.
dress though.
And the politics
You seen him in
is
his
just-
skirt?
The
Yeah.
politics is just
LeBron.
keep us from paying attention to the money.
He wore the pink skirt, man.
I think that was
Pink skirt.
AI generated.
That was not real.
It
That was AI
real?
generated.
Thank God. Please don't let that be.
The shocking thing about it to me with him having that is his father spends $2.5 million a year on health. So I know he does the same thing for his son.
Yeah.
I know they get tested regularly. So
Yeah.
it's like that's shocking and it's
That's
scary at the same time.
because if you got money, you are feeling good.
Also, could it be hereditary? Could it be a hereditary thing? You don't think they would have found
No,
this
they
out?
would have found that. His
You think
father
LeBron
spends
would have?
$2.5 million a year on health to make sure his body is top notch. He does the same thing for his son because his son is on the same path.
Yeah.
So they would have known if he had anything hereditary that they could have jumped in front of and kind of stopped. This is just all of a sudden shocking at 18.
Now, the first thing that they're going to talk about on ESPN next week is, now does LeBron play with his son? And once the,
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Does he get the opportunity now?
LeBron said that he was going to play he was going to end his career on whatever team drafts LeBron Jr.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, that was a hook. Okay.
And he has he can opt out this year. And if Bronny goes into the draft this year, he can get signed by whatever team Bronny gets drafted to. And his ultimate goal is to
Play on the
play on the team with his son.
That's pretty dope.
Like
That's,
King
that's,
Griffey.
Could you imagine that, man?
oh, wow.
But look at the hook that it throws now, because now that he's injured, ain't nobody going to take that liability. Oh, we don't even know if you can last. It's
Well,
the same thing that happened to Shaq's son.
Yeah.
Well,
The same
yes.
thing that
Well,
happened to Shaq's son.
I'm not
If your dad's LeBron, they're gonna give you the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
benefit
I'm not a sports guy, but I am a capitalist. So The
Don't
name,
make money.
That's a lot of t-shirts.
the name alone.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
t-shirts.
you don't have to come off the bench for me. He can come
Yeah.
and join the team.
We're
We
gonna
can sell
draft
his
you
tickets.
because of your daddy, but
Well, you know, I don't want to go that route, but
then that
This is the
Would you,
business that
would
you're
you
in.
sign Mike Tyson's son? Yes, I would.
Yes.
Pretty much, he gonna be knocking people out too.
on the court. This is basketball, not boxing, son. Nonetheless, let me run these ads real quick, and then we're gonna come right back into it. I have in the studio a casual conversation. Dank Siinatra and Young Six is in the building. It's myself, Mike Flex, and Cosmo. Oof's in the building,
Yeah.
and Cosmo the comedian. And I'm gonna run these spots real quick, and then we'll come right back to the shizzle.
I bet you his draft chances are pretty cut
It's
now.
over. He was already a second round pick.
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's go with this one. This girl right here is Zumba. Zumba is a popular dance fitness program that combines Latin and international music with dance movements. It's a fun way to exercise and stay healthy. While I cannot join Zumba class myself, Lelaine Dixon Zumba offers a remote class that you can join for free online. All you need to do is find her on Instagram or Facebook using the handle Lelaine Dixon Zumba. Enjoy dancing and getting into a better mental state of mind with her selection of great songs, Lelaine Dixon Zumba. And I would like everyone to know she is doing a finale show next week, or actually this week, and it will actually be her final show. After 3 years, she's not quitting, but you know, she's moving on. So join her this Thursday for her final class. Who we got next? Okay, this guy right here. I call this Black Lightning. It's a beautiful watch by 17 Watches. I'm promoting 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. They offer affordable and stylish timepieces. I recommend checking out their Instagram or Facebook page for their weekly specials, going to the website and purchasing it, using code 1V2 at checkout, mentioned 1V2. I need the mentions. Enjoy the shopping. 17th Watches by Chris Johnson. Use code 1V2 at checkout. And on the screen right now, I call that one Black Lightning.
You got one to support. That's what we need up here. One to support for me.
Yeah. Next spot right here. If you're looking for a website and social media manager, Portia Creations might be able to assist you. She specializes in custom funeral program booklets, designed and offer additional services. You can reach her via email at pirvin@consultant.com. That's PIRVIN@consultant.com, or connect with her on Instagram at create2inspire2. Alternately, you can connect with her through the phone at 951-667-5446.
She makes me more.
She will be able to provide you with further information, discuss your special needs. That's Portia Creations. Email at pirvinconsultant.com, or connect with her on the Instagram, create2inspire2. All right, those are spots.
I love it.
All right, let's get back into it before we get back to our
I know you got
guest.
some juicy.
Yeah, we did the tree bush found in Rancho Cucamonga. The next one I really wanted to talk about was the brother that ran across the border. The brother that ran across the border in North Korea. Yeah, let's go with him.
When I heard it, I just...
All right, so the story is, well, could you play that clip real quick and we'll come back?
Yeah, give us
It's
the
at the
clip.
bottom of the page. The young brother that ran into North Korea. And if you are not familiar who North Korea is, yeah, that's not a place to mess with.
No, you can get killed.
Do you know any Koreans?
Yes,
Oh, you do?
I have neighbors that are Koreans.
Oh,
And
I like Korean barbecue.
Yeah, you know what? That sounded racist like a mug.
But yo, I like it
Barbecue
though.
is fire.
Yeah, I know, it is. I know.
I like what they provide.
There's
Right?
some
This
fierce
skill set.
people too. They're real fierce. Even though they're short, they're fierce.
Yeah, let's play this clip real quick. I think. What's the young brother's name? I don't know my young brother's name, but he's like 24 years old.
Travis King, 23 years old, who had served almost 50 days in detention here in South Korea after some sort of an assault or a scuffle. Lawyers described it as a typical, potentially drunken confrontation, and he would have basically been kicked out of the army. So instead, what is believed to have happened is that he joined a tour group crossed the Unification Bridge, went into the Joint Security Area. This is the Unification Bridge just beyond these barricades here, and you can see spike strips on the ground, barricades. Basically, they don't want people coming here unless they have authorization. This is an area that might be familiar to you, even if you've never been there, because it's where President Trump, the former president, and the North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un met and had an impromptu discussion several years back, and President Trump then stepped over what's known as the military demarcation line and became the first sitting U.S. president to step foot on North Korean soil.
All right,
so even though we
that.
haven't seen security videos...
All right, so in a nutshell, the brother is over there right now. He shouldn't have stepped over the line.
No.
Stepped over the line. Now, are you guys familiar with Otto Warmbier? This was a story that was in 2016. The young brother, went over there and to North Korea and tore up a picture or something like that. And they end up putting him in prison, and they sent him home in a body bag. Yeah. He was pretty much, yeah. So these guys not you don't mess with them.
Well, they got a different culture, man.
I was liking this story. No,
Yeah,
I was liking
I
this
know.
story to why was he not aware beforehand? I mean, nobody in his circle, no family members say, hey, you don't
He
mess
did
with
look
these
pretty
people.
young, man. He looked,
He's a soldier, so he's over there
Yeah.
with people around him.
how old was
Yeah.
he?
Like 24.
Okay,
24.
okay. 24, you're kind
This
of
is like his second tour.
Yeah.
This is like
Yeah.
it's probably got to be his second tour
Mhm.
or his first tour.
Bruh.
He
You
understands
don't
Yeah,
mess
man.
with the
Yeah.
Koreans.
what it was.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you
he's
don't
24
go there.
and he went. I mean, he didn't realize the gravity of what was gonna happen.
I don't think he's coming back.
But at the same
No.
time, South and North Korea are two different things.
Mhm.
Big difference.
He
See,
could have
me-
thought he was saving
yeah.
himself by going into North
Yeah,
Korea.
see those
because he was
barriers?
avoiding.
Yeah.
He got
What
in
happened in
trouble
South
down
Korea.
south,
Yeah.
and he was trying to.
All right, let me get into North Korea to avoid what's going to happen over here.
Man,
But
so what's
either
the
way,
saying? He jumped out of the frying pan
straight into the fire.
into the fire.
Man, the duct tape and the strip, all that. That turned me right around right there. When I see that, you
Oh,
in
yeah.
Korea.
They don't play with that. So we're in the studio with Dank
Right
Siinatra
now.
and Young Six, Casual Conversations. There's a term out there, and I would like for you to clarify for me. Since we're on the internet, we're in the age of internet, and like I said, you were my guy. The term influencer. Would you consider yourself that, or because that's the big thing right now? Is that a go-to term for you? Are you offended if someone says, "Oh, you're an internet influencer," or what's your take?
Influencer is really someone that does anything to get their social media numbers up so that they can get brands to pay them to post on their page. So
Okay.
influencers build up their
You're a
YouTube,
pitch
their
guy.
social media, and then they do crazy stuff on the internet where people constantly are watching.
Yeah.
And then while they have the eyes on them, they'll shout out your brand or shout out theirs, and that's how they make their money.
Do you
So
consider
all these-
yourself that?
No, because those are based off of gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Brands,
A journalist doesn't do that.
businesses, sell products or services.
Mm-hmm.
And here, that's what we do. We sell both. We sell products and services. That's how we get paid. We don't need a gimmick to make money.
So no 6ix9ine rainbow hairs or nothing
Yeah,
like that.
no.
Okay.
A business sells products and services. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's something that Master P preaches all the time is get you some products.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I'm saying, if you got a $20 product and you get 1,000 people to buy it, you made $20,000.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you don't need. Nipsey Hussle proved that you don't need 1 million people to make $1 million.
All right, so you're saying the business sells a service, right? So you don't think the influencer is selling a service to the business?
Yes, but the service is based off of a gimmick that is the reason why they have the eyes on them in the moment.
Gimmicks are
Or,
fair play, though.
could be based off just off their platform and their reach.
I
Like,
mean,
so
it's the same way a motivational speaker will get paid off their image and their likeness. I think it's similar,
problem-
but the
problem I'm
motivational
thinking-
speaker is giving out game, is giving out knowledge, is giving out something to society that society can
But
benefit
it
from.
seems like
The
you
inter-
said
the
you can't
influencers 9
trust them,
times
though.
out of 10.
Can you trust them?
aren't re- I mean,
It's like you saying with the
because numbers,
the motivation
can be inflated.
Yeah,
because they're gonna sell anything you tell them. An influencer, oh, I got $100. I need you to go on the internet right now and say this is the best product you ever had in your life. So they're gonna sell their image to sell that product. So it can't be trusted as far as them unless you only following their influence and their likeliness. Unless you have somebody coming out and be like, yo, I'm an influencer, but I only influence things that I stand behind and trust. But most of these social internet gimmicks, yo, you got $100 for me? Yo, I'll tell you this is the best thing in the world.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Up. So, Dan, there's a question here. I got the robot to write me up some questions. Challenges you face building your brand.
My biggest hurdle has always been level of association. See, growing up, you know, you have fans and family, and in those moments, those were the people that you went to. But as you embark on a new path, you realize that everyone that you've known in your life has zero to do with where you're headed. So essentially, you have to learn to shed your friends and your family without you know what I'm saying, without like shitting on them. I mean,
Ding, that's $10. $10 for the pot.
But without, like, you know what I'm saying, offending anyone, you still have to essentially grow away from them as you embark on a new journey. And this is how I run into people like Young Six. You know what I'm saying? Because he's on his journey onto his destination, and I'm on my journey to mine, and we meet along the way. Now, he has his own things, but then on the things where we can help each other, that's where we collaborate, you know what I'm saying? So I had to focus on not who was on my team, but who will be on my team.
Who will be.
Because that's the key to this whole game, is building that infrastructure and that team with like-minded individuals. One of the biggest books that I ever read that changed my way of thinking is Think, Grow Rich. And they talk about mastermind alliances. You know what I'm saying? You have to align yourself with other masterminds and other people that have the same thought process as you so that you can actually attain the things that you're looking for.
Do you find that you will take on more of the role because you don't think other people can do the job that you need?
Yeah. I think
do you
that,
do that?
I think that, yes.
Every great person.
You have to,
because
you don't delegate.
I do delegate, but at the same time, enthusiasm is not skill. Loyalty is not skill. Time is not skill. So you might have the time to do with this. You might have the enthusiasm to do this. But if you don't have the per se skill set to do it, then regardless if you got the loyalty, the time, the enthusiasm, you don't possess the skill set to produce what I'm looking for.
Do you find it hard to cut people out? Do you
I don't cut people out because I give you a lane or opportunity to grow. If this is what you're gonna do, then this is what I need you for. And if you don't focus on your skill set, then I no longer can use you. I put you in this position. I put the camera in your hand. I showed you how to use it. If you didn't use it any other time, but when the opportunity comes with me, then I know that is not the opportunity for you.
That's not your forte. What else did I say? Here, authenticity. You maintain authenticity. I know this because when I watch your programs on YouTube and all your lives, it's very congruent. It doesn't come off like we was talking earlier, gimmicky. It's very grown up. You had the panel with the 4 or 5 guys. I know what's his name, the famous homie. On there and everything.
Shout out to Ronnie.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's been down since day one. I like that kid too. But you guys stay very much grounded. Where did that come from for you?
I think that I've always been a very social, you know what I'm saying, charismatic character. And one thing that I've always had, especially when I was in the streets, is that the youngsters, people would be drawn to me. People would want to follow me. And I never thought that I had the influence that I had. And now that I notice my power and I notice that I'm a natural born leader and people are naturally drawn to me, now I'm very careful about how I lead people and the information that I show. Because I've had youngsters that I told them this, but they seen what I was doing in the streets and they did what I was doing. I told my little brothers this, but they didn't listen to this. They did what I was doing. So you got to lead by example. So a lot of the times I don't do it because I want to do it. I do it because I need to show the others this is how it needs to be done.
And see, that's what I love about you. You are also a mentor. You know, and that was something that was one of the reasons why I reached out to you when I reached out to you, because like I said, I saw a reflection of myself, and I just wanted to make sure that the bridge was always between my generation, this young guy's generation, and then moving on forward to the next generation, because some of them kids ain't gonna talk to me, but they're definitely gonna deal with you. And we come from out here in the Inland Empire, everything you create, everything you make, you have to create. We don't have the quote-unquote infrastructure set up like LA or something like that. If you want to do it, then you have to do it yourself. So besides broadcasting on the internet, you do film, you edit. What other skill sets, or what, you're a cameraman, or do you like that part of it?
So the cameraman part of it came from covering events and not wanting to pay a cameraman to come shoot for me. So let me buy my own camera and let me shoot my own stuff. If I'm gonna be out here,
Is that hard to do? Film and produce?
it is hard to do, but at the
jumping
same
in front and behind the
but at the
camera.
same time, you gotta understand. If you don't understand the camera, then you can't understand the cameraman. So the cameraman can tell you or show you or
So
do
you know what you
anything that
want when you filming.
I understand it. So I was watching a Nipsey interview, and one thing he said is, when we get into space and I tell the engineer do something, and the engineer say I can't do that, he like, well, move out the way. I'll engineer. I'll do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's my similar approach. Is that I make sure that I know how to do it and I can do it myself before I have that expectation of you. I don't expect nothing from nobody that I couldn't expect from myself.
Yeah.
So people truly are a hired hand when you hired him, right? Yeah.
Nah, you can do it all. Engineering, all
They're
that
another
stuff.
hand he hired. Yeah.
What was I gonna ask you right now was, is there any, you be out in the streets, is there any, have you ever fanned out for, saying, oh, this is my favorite celeb, or I was in this nightclub, or I was at this person's house, or anything?
So actually last year's BET Awards, me and my wife were walking out the awards.
Ooh.
Turn around,
Fancy.
and French Montana's like just as close to me. My wife knows French Montana's been one of my favorite rappers for the last 10 years since she met me. French Montana.
You didn't. What happened?
So I like French Montana. Just a quick on French Montana. If you know the Cocaine City DVDs, he would actually make these hood story DVDs and then put his music behind it. So it wasn't always just about his music. It was about his business acumen that I like. You know what I'm saying? I pay this. That's the type of stuff that inspires me. Because when I see people like French get it out the mud from Cocaine City DVDs to where he's at, it lets me know that it's possible and I could do it too. We're back to the moment. So we're walking out. I see French. We this close. So I'm like, oh, what up, French? Reach to dap him up. French reaching out to dap me back up. And the security guard slaps my hand down. So then
was it Britney Spears?
Slaps my hand down. So then he flex on me. So then I'm pulling him off, saying flexing back.
He forgot where you were.
And then my wife grabbed my shoulder and she brought me back to reality. Because it was about to be a moment. And I'm like,
that was a good picture right there. Everybody grabbed realizing.
It's like we run into a lot of people, but that was the first time that I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? One of my favorite rappers randomly coming out the awards is right here.
It's right there. But the security was doing what security's supposed to do, so you can't get mad at them for that. But you know what I'm saying? He didn't slap your hand. He didn't slap your hand.
But French
posing a threat.
It wasn't a threat. French was
he was reaching
back.
out. So
he just
maybe French
security
was
was
back
being,
and say, hey, where my fans at?
security being top flight.
Yeah.
Get your hand out of there.
I already know how that is.
So one more question off this internet. It said something about, can you pinpoint a key moment or experience that shaped your journey? was when did that light bulb came on and said, hey, I'm going to do this today.
AI asked him that?
Nah, we need time date. He said he started his business 5 years ago, but you just don't wake up and say, today's the day I'm going to start a business. Or maybe you do.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a crazy moment because I'm always in the books. I study a lot of different stuff, and at the time I was studying self-actualization.
What's the definition of that?
It's just a process of removing everyone out of the picture and only doing self-reflection, where you look at every major decision in your life and you see why you did it and why I was.
That sounds depressing because I look at my life and
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I went wrong there.
But a lot of times we're like,
I don't know if I want to do that.
but a lot of times it's like, I did that because he did that to me, or I was reacting to them. That when you remove other people, then you break it down to the core. It was like a lot of things that I did was either out of desperation, out of anger, or out of spite because I had a vendetta. If somebody did, because I'm such a pure-hearted individual, when somebody did me wrong, I had to get my get back. And I would, what they call, be with the extras, and I would take things from here to here. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
messy.
Okay, it gets messy.
So that's when I kind of realized, and then it was a tricky moment because I was in this moment, and the question became, what defines you? And I was stuck on that, and I was trying to find one word that defines me. And in this process, it was about a month where I was stumped, where I couldn't describe myself
In one word.
in one word.
Okay.
And Rick Ross dropped a song called "Nobody" with French Montana. And in the cutscene is P. Diddy, and he's talking to his people, and he's like, "You want to walk around with these dudes with these silly looks on their faces? You want to walk around with them, or you want to walk with God? Make up your mind."
P.
And it was
Diddy
just-
said that?
Yes, and it's a cutscene, but it was him. It was background BTS of him actually talking to his team. It wasn't like no motivation things.
Okay, because P. Diddy's kind of.
But that whole speech in there, I felt like he was talking to me, like, what defines you? Like, and from that moment, that the word that I came up with was unyielding. Because no matter what,
Unyielding.
no matter what the process, no matter what life throws at me, no matter, you can't speed me up or slow me down. And I'm not stopping or yielding for anything or anyone until I reach my goal.
Good, man. That was pretty deep right there. Unyielding.
Yes.
Mine is no. I'm working on me.
What word defines you? What word defines you? Mine would be artistic. I mean,
Autistic?
I mean, see, there you go. You just made me cry, man. Artistic. I mean, I'm a comedian, a musician, and a music producer. So, everything I do is artistic. I knew I always could describe myself because when you have a skill and you practice it and you display it, it's not hard for you to know what you are and what you can do and your abilities. But when you're a business person, you pick so many avenues to build that brand that it takes a long time to even define it because you don't never once know what lane you're going to take. Because business,
You're gonna fail.
Business is pivotal.
Yeah,
When you play the piano, you play the piano. Yeah. So, hey man, I admire that kind of attitude.
So let me ask Six. What's the one word that defines you?
Perseverance.
Perseverance.
Yeah. I don't never give up. You run into so many no's. That no going to eventually turn into a yes. So.
Now your business. How long it take you to start this?
Oh yeah. Oof.
Oh, okay. So let me just make it clear. All right. So I moved to California in 2017 from Germany. So cannabis.
Pause.
You from Germany?
Yeah.
Really?
Na klar. Kann ich Deutsch sprechen? Ein bisschen?
Whoa.
Warum? All right. Okay.
What did he call me?
Yeah.
What you
All
call
right,
me?
So it was a pivotal moment.
Name.
Everybody know that word. Pivotal moment. Cannabis is booming. I try to get into the industry, get the licenses and everything. At that moment in time, I wasn't ready for it. So I've been growing since about 2018. But
You're a grower too.
Yeah, so I got a farm up in OC that I produce most of my strands out of, and then I have other farmers that I work with. So the strand is called Oof. If you ain't smoking Oof, you're smoking Boof. Black owned, black grown. The formula to it is all mine. I name it. Most of my strands are heavy indica. We do have some sativa that I usually push for the lady through most of the
Man, I am impressed.
So what's the
Okay?
recipe? He said, I have my own personal strand. What's the recipe here? How did you put the
I'm just
flavor
gonna say
together?
love. Just say love.
He poured some love.
I got a green thumb.
Put some love.
I got a green thumb. I got a green thumb, so it's growing right. But I'm an artist first, but I need to fund my artist career.
Yeah,
so
diversify.
I funded it with what everybody likes, and that's in California. So I'm still on a route to try to get licensed and open up a dispensary somewhere in the IE, but you know they only got certain zones.
Good, man.
Please do that because
They got so many zones. They got so many zones that you can get into, and you got to wait for the licenses and the funding behind it. So it's
How
kind of
much
hard.
does the license cost?
Just to start. No. Just to start to get the registration license at $20K now.
oh,
For
it
real?
was
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
It started
Yeah.
out 10 when they
So
started.
and
it.
that's not promising you're going to get approved once
No.
they have the zone open.
You're gonna
so
just be put
so
on
you're
the
going to be
list.
putting up that money and you'll be on the list. And me
if they
being
So the money doesn't guarantee you?
No.
no, it doesn't guarantee you anything.
They have certain amount of
Yeah.
permits for
You got to go
area.
to certain permits. You got to have a clean background check. You got to have certain things that each zone represents. And then it's just like once you're on that list, like it could be like waiting on the housing list. So I just felt like, man, at this point, once it became legalized, I'll push it more. It's black market, but you know I handle it the best way I can as far as being professional about it.
Does any of us know any black-owned dispensaries in our area?
No.
We can't get them. We
You're
can't.
the
So
first
there's
one
not
I've
one.
ever.
There's
Well, no,
not. See,
actually,
so-
Jason Elm Street had one.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
See, Jason, all right, Jason's my boy, but I don't know if his was legally owned. He had growers, but as far as having the full dispensary license,
Riverside County Medical Supply.
yeah, so I think he went under the medical route, so he can dispense it that way. But as far as recreational cannabis, that license and that tier, I haven't met any black-owned, like real, like most of the black-owned cannabis growers that are attached to it, say like the Jay-Z's or anybody
Yeah.
that's attached
man,
to it.
we gotta push
they're
you. We gotta
attached.
push
They're
you.
attached.
They are
They're not.
attached to somebody else, but they're not the full owner.
So I know one. Hayes, shout out to Hayes Black Cannabis magazine.
What city? What?
He's actually based out of LA.
Okay.
It's more of a delivery service, but he does have his own Black Cannabis and Black Cannabis magazine.
Okay.
We actually did MJ BizCon in Vegas, which is the largest Mary Jane business
Okay.
conference in the world.
In Las
and he
Vegas.
had what it was called Diversity Village. And last year we live streamed the first one. And it had Redman, Exhibit.
I think I heard about that.
It was, and he put it together. And this November, we'll be going back. I'm on the production team, so I'll be live streaming it. Our Diversity Village will be back at MJ BizCon this year, and we will be kind of just giving the people their flowers for the black people within the Mary Jane industry.
What kind of variety can we see from your company?
Oh, like I said, I got a bunch of different strains that we're working on, but like right now, the regular one is called Zaza Galore, which is an OG.
Say that again, what you call it?
Zaza Galore.
That sounds
that's the first
like
one.
It's gonna knock you down.
Yeah.
Why?
let's see.
Why? Okay. Why do we have a caller on line one?
Who is it? Ask who it is.
Yeah, no, let him through.
What? Andy Boy the comedian.
Who is this?
Andy Boy comedian. I saw your thing on Facebook and it said call in. The show started at 7 p.m. I don't know what the hell y'all doing. I just fucking with you.
Okay. See, do you see why I don't have call-ins? Cut him off. Put him off.
What's your name? What's your
Nah,
name?
man, he cussed. He dropped him. Boom.
Boom, boom.
You can't do that.
Dang,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Jesus.
Yeah. Now back to some more holy.
Yeah.
Back to our holy talking. You messed up the show.
Yeah, but
Okay, we got 5. But before we go out, what's the name of that right there? Because I called it Ao Hishimi.
No, that is called. Oh, that's him. So when
Oh,
you,
that's him.
Yeah, when you hit it that first time, you be like, that's him.
Oh, that's him.
Now we're in the day. You got to say, oh, that's him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's him. Her.
No.
You gotta now if you want
Oh,
to.
that's him.
No, oh, that's him.
Oh, that's him.
Her.
No, don't throw that on it.
I don't want to do that. Before we get out here, real hot topic. I know you guys are into sports. What's your opinion about these male swimmers dominating the female swimming sport? These male wrestlers breaking.
I think it's.
I think
how
that
can we fix this, or what's the future, sportsman?
Biology's gonna fix it.
I think that it's very dangerous for these women to be competing against biological men.
There's no way they can compete.
And that right there, I think ultimately once the analytics come out of how dangerous this is, like he said, biology will fix itself.
Yeah, they only pick the stuff that they can, because you don't see women boxers going into
But you're
men boxing.
saying that eventually the rules will change where they will have like
once they see more men becoming women,
him versus
to dominate those sports.
her versus her.
Well, once we reach a point where we have enough transgenders that are competing in sports, then they'll get their own competition.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
None of that is fair. How come you don't see no women dominating men's sports? You just see the men dominating women's sports.
Yeah, but they
It makes
dominate
no
our
sense.
lives,
But
though.
that whole idea is so out
Eventually
of
will
pocket.
be
It's out of
leagues
pocket
that
to
come
me.
out that will tend to them once they get enough athletes.
So how do you guys feel about Russia making where it's illegal to have a
I was just
sex
about to
change?
say that.
You can't.
Hey,
The Russians
everybody
and
in
the
the world
Chinese
hates
too.
it.
The Chinese are doing it too.
I think that
it's only the Europeans who want it.
I think that
they made the surgery all that.
the propaganda that goes around all the time, I think that Russia is really trying to contain their own information and the things that influence their youth. And I think that all these other countries like America, like the UK,
Too free.
You know what I'm saying? When you have the internet right in front of your face and you got YouTube, then a lot of these things that they don't necessarily believe in their culture influence their children.
Okay, but you're going down a slippery slope here.
You see how
the freedom of speech versus a theocracy.
I understand it.
Yeah, but we're in a place in time where look at all these horrible things that are happening, that are sexual deviants that we have in this country now.
Do you see how
This is
China
going too
they
far.
control the algorithm of what their kids see versus what ours see?
Exactly.
I'm
You
playing
get killed
that,
out
yeah.
there.
But I know we're running out of time.
No,
but
keep going.
One thing that we wanted to come here though specifically for
What's that, bro?
is we're doing another media day. I know you attended
Dang.
the last one.
I'm a
I know,
Oh, we're
I know
there.
you came out.
Yeah.
So we got
Thanks
this.
for
We got the
conversations
skydive
there.
school in Paris, and it's called the
Balls.
Bomb
You said
Shelter.
skydive school. You jumping out.
So there's literally gonna be classes going on. They're not shutting it down for today. So we got the venue from 12 to 10, but from 12 to 6. There will actually be having people skydiving in the background.
Oh,
so
a
we'll
lot of
actually
people-
be
lot of black
partying
people be
there.
doing it?
Wow, no, not really. We're about to party here, though.
Can we also attend and jump at the same time? Or
Yeah.
no?
I mean, if you want to, you want to jump out the sky.
just
and
asking.
Come on, Mike, jump out live. We'll play it live. Go ahead.
But we'll have over
Mike Flex will be jumping out the plane, y'all.
over 10 media outlets. We will have vendors. We'll have sponsors. We'll have the big stage with performers. We got Chef Boy, we got Young Six performing, we got that boy Khalifa.
Radio Bass.
We also bringing out Radio Bass,
And that's going to be in
guys.
Paris?
This is going to be in Paris.
August 26th. August 26th.
August 26th. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are not afraid, you definitely come out there.
Just come out and party. It's
Come
gonna
out,
be great
come out.
vibes. Network.
I'm
Come to the
afraid.
show.
I'm
I want to
afraid.
say a big shout out to RJ Polo. That's my guy. Go down to his club, Cafe Organics, nice restaurant, Raquel Lounge. That's a good plug, a good place to go
Oh, yeah,
hang
that's my
out.
peoples.
The plug
Pick
at the
up the
Waterman
key.
Swap Meet. They got good fits. I love chicken and waffles. Definitely want to go back up there. And my boy, DeMarco King, if you need a house, that's my guy right there from King Realty
We
Group.
got you your house, huh?
Of course. Of course. If you can help a person like me,
Hey,
definitely help a person like you.
you can get your crib tonight.
I love you guys, everybody in the world. It's
Oh,
Mike Flex,
I.E.
Casual Conversations, and we are out.
Love y'all.
KCAA Loma Linda.
I was gonna explode. Can you believe I waited until? Okay, because we've known. I just didn't want to jinx it. I was too. All right.
Did it record it? I don't know. It did. Oh. Did it record it? It said recording. Yeah. Oh. Is it recorded again? Oh, come on, this stop shit. It's recorded.